What is this metal cylinder that my fiancé keeps in our bedroom? I was with my fiancé when her dad told her this part was from an airplane and that it was made of titanium, but she doubts that story, stating her parents used to make up silly stories for boring things. It weighs about 5 pounds and has been sitting in my bedroom for 5 years after we sold her parents' home. Her parents aren't alive anymore, so we can't really get an update or a continuation of the story. But she just told me that her parents got it from her father's granddad, who was an engineer and in the Air Force, but she has no clue how he got a hold of it. Apparently, her parents used it as an end table with a piece of wood on top when she was growing up. Any ideas? That's the titanium fuel tank for the reaction control system of the Apollo service module that brought Americans to the moon. It's a specialized pressure vessel designed to store hypergolic propellants used by the RCS thrusters. The reaction control system was responsible for attitude control, like rotating or orienting the spacecraft. It used small thrusters located in 4 clusters on the service module, each with 4 thrusters. The tanks were essential for fine maneuvering and orientation of the service module. What is this Victorian egg-shaped bivalve thingy? It looks like maybe abalone, bronze with a ceramic base, and no more than a few ounces, with a curious structure in the middle. My grandmother had this. According to my mom, she picked it up somewhere, but I don't believe it's any kind of heirloom. A cursory 5-minute search through pics online yielded similar objects, but they all lacked the structure in the middle, and almost all opened horizontally. Closest guesses were maybe a ring holder, but that just doesn't seem like what the shape would hold, to me at least. Hope anyone can brew up some better ideas, cause I'm stumped. Thanks, folks. It's an antique mother-of-pearl perfume casket with double perfume bottle holders from the 19th century. Here's another one. When you push down on the lever, the pearl opens and reveals the bottles. The pearl is on a marble base and has brass accents throughout. What is this leather harness with metal chains and breastplate found at a flea market in Louisville, Kentucky? Roughly the size of an adult male torso, and the tag even says, "What is this thing?" I thought it might be some sort of harness for a farmyard animal, but Google searches relating to this didn't return anything useful. No one at the flea market had any idea. Does anyone know what this is or what it was used for? It's a bull blinder, used to help control a mean or angry bull. They were patented on June 6, 1933 by Henry Masbrook and produced by the Russell Manufacturing Company of Platteville, Wisconsin. There are slits in the bottom of the eye cups, which allowed the animal to walk and graze naturally. He would hesitate to charge or maul a person or another animal because he couldn't see them clearly. Over the years, these types of blinders have saved many human lives. What is this thing made of? Brass, and quite heavy. It kind of seems to be something that is submersible, but I can't tell. I did a Google search and still can't figure out what these are. Thanks in advance. These are brass ship's lights, made by the L.L. Rowe Company in Boston, Massachusetts. It was designed by the Navy somewhere around 1955, and Rowe started making them in 1978, and still makes them today for the Navy. It cost the Navy over $1,000 for each light. It's electric and takes glass bulbs, 6 on top and 6 on the bottom. The rubber threaded black cap on the side comes off so you can screw on a cable with gasket to prevent water from getting inside. What is this thing I found with some old army stuff? Around 8 inches long, 1.75 inches wide, it looks like it's made of brass and has Mitchell, Canada stamped on it. Do you have any ideas on what this could be? That's a button stick. It was part of the personal kit issued to soldiers in both World War I and World War II. The stick would be placed under the buttons when polishing, ensuring that the brass buttons gleamed while the uniform remained clean. Today, the need to polish brass is no longer required, as military buttons and badges are anodized, which provides a permanent shine. What is this thing gifted to me by my grandmother? It's vintage and probably acquired in the Soviet Union. She has memory problems now. She's 93 and doesn't know what it was for. Does anyone know what this thing actually is? It's a Jewish Mayim acronym with a hanging cup. It's a Jewish ritual practice meaning after waters. It refers to the washing of the hands before Birkat Hamazon, the grace after meals, in traditional Jewish law and custom. It was traditionally performed after finishing a meal that included bread, just before reciting the grace after meals. A small amount of water is poured over the fingers, usually up to the second knuckle, of each hand. Historically, meals were eaten with the hands, and salt or other substances might remain that could be dangerous if accidentally ingested. It's also seen as a way to spiritually cleanse oneself before offering thanks to God. The requirement for Mayim acronym is debated. Some halakhic opinions say it is obligatory, while others, especially in modern times, consider it a custom that can be omitted, particularly when the original reasons, like the presence of dangerous salts, no longer apply. What is this big metal box on the sidewalk? It looks very old, and it has writings on it on one side that say, TUS and S Company, Swissvale, Pennsylvania. Does anyone here have any idea? It's a traffic control box, made by the Union Switch and Signal Company, an American company based in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which focused on railway signaling equipment, systems, and services during the late 19th and early 20th century. At one time, there was a pole bolted to the top of it, with some form of traffic lights above. What is this wooden and metal contraption hanging on the wall of a coffee shop? The employees did not know what it was either. At first, we thought this was a mousetrap, but it seems too big for that purpose. It measures approximately 11.5 inches tall and 10 inches wide, with no maker's mark of any kind around it. Someone suggested it has something to do with coffee bean bags. We tried Google searches and Google Lens and came up empty. Any ideas? Please let us know down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Let's make life fun.